Today I will be presenting two aspects of Vaccelerate consortium, which are the volunteer registry and the clinical site volunteer. This is my declaration of interests, and first I would like to start mentioning what Vaccelerate is. Vaccelerate is a platform, it's a pan-European backbone accelerating platform for phase 2 and 3 vaccine trials. It's the largest research network for COVID-19 in vaccine trials in the whole Europe, to the best of our knowledge, with 29 partners in 18 EU member states and 5 EU associated countries. We received an initial funding of 12 million euros and a top-up funding for 3 clinical trials where we are the main sponsors of 14.5 million euros, which makes a total of 26.5 million. And we are part of the EC pandemic preparedness. EUVAP started, it's the clinical trial site registry, started in September 2020, funded by the German Federal Ministry of Research, and in 1 month we collected more than 100 sites. Then in October 2020 we were suggested to create a volunteer registry for people that were willing to participate in clinical trials in COVID-19 vaccines at that time. Now it's open to any vaccine. And in 15 days, we had it developed, and one month later, more than 10,000 volunteers were already registered. Now, if we move forward 1 year, in the clinical trial site registry, 470 sites from the whole European continent, not only the European Union, but Europe as a continent, were registered, and the volunteer registry was expanded to 10 additional countries. We will see now how these numbers have changed a bit. So, as I mentioned, I will focus only in 2 of the objectives of Vaccelerate, which are the capacity mapping or the clinical trial site and the volunteer registries. Here you can see the website of the clinical trial site. So if you are a clinical trial site and you are interested in running clinical trials, please go to this website. The added value is that it's a transnational capacity questionnaire for clinical trial sites in Europe. It's quite straightforward. It takes you 10 minutes maximum, and we collect data on contact, well, of course, your contact details, the prior clinical trial experience, also the available infrastructure, and the preferred parameters for running clinical trials. I mean, like your preferred parameters. And the next steps are the promotion and the dissemination to Eastern Europe. The process is quite straightforward. You just go to euvap.eu, you register your site, and basically you wait. Once a sponsor is looking for a clinical trial with your characteristics, we will contact you and we will inform you about, well, a sponsor is interested in a clinical trial like the one of yours. So you are autonomous to decide whether you want to participate or not, and then in case you accept to participate, we put in contact both the sponsor and the clinical trial site. So far we have sites in 39 countries, a total of 475, and of those 384 are interested in adult clinical trials and 230 in pediatric population. And this is how it's been the increasing number of the Vaccelerate sites over the time since the week 41 of 2020. 2020. And regarding the Vaccelerate volunteer registry, you can access through the link below, vaccelerate.eu/volunteer-registry. And the added value is that it is the only transnational volunteer registry in Europe for clinical trials. We collect data on demographics, both for adults and pediatric population. Also, we ask for the underlying conditions, and since we started with, or we were focused in COVID-19 vaccines, now it's open to any vaccine in general. We are also asking for a prior SARS-CoV-2 infection and COVID-19 vaccination status. The next steps are the promotion and the dissemination, including patient advocacy groups and also underrepresented groups. Not only healthy patients, but ethnic minorities, patients with or handicapped patients, and also patients with chronic diseases. And we also aim to make it a cohort in a way that we can have updated information on real time from all the participants. And of course, we expect an increase in the registration over the next 3 months because we are still under expansion. In this map, in dark green, we can observe the countries where the registry is already activated. Actually, it's outdated because during the weekend we received the OK from Italy, so now it's 12 countries: Austria, Cyprus, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Lithuania, Norway, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, and Italy. And there are 5 countries which are in activation process. We can see them in a lighter green: Belgium, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Israel, and the Netherlands. And we are in cooperation with the EUVAP, which is the volunteer registry that was set up in France at the very, very beginning of the pandemic. So far, we have more than 36,000 people registered as volunteers in in the sum of all the registries. And the participation, it's as in the same way as for EUVAP, it's quite straightforward. You just go to vaccelerate.eu/volunteer-registry and you provide your data. The data are saved and stored, and whenever a clinical trial site is looking for a patient with your characteristics, we inform you that you have matched to, or that your profile has matched to such study. And then you are autonomous to decide whether you want to participate or not. Regardless of your decision, you can continue being member of the registry, and nothing happens. And finally, in case you decide to participate, then we put you in contact with, or we give you, the details of the clinical trial, and you actively express your interest with them. And I would like to finish giving a huge thank to the Vaccelerate national coordinators, and also to all the members of the Vaccelerate coordination office in Cologne. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very interesting talk. Any questions for Jon? So sorry, I may have missed it, but how many trials have you actually run through this network, and how many participants have you enrolled into vaccine trials?
Actually, so far we have matched more than 15,000 volunteers to clinical trials. Both our own sponsored clinical trials, which are focus in patients over 75 years old, adult patients and pediatric patients, but also for external clinical trials.
And do you, if a vaccine is presented by a private company, do you charge the company for the service that you provide?
No, it's free of charge. Because we have our own funding, and the main interest is that we make Vaccelerate a common point for sponsors, clinical trial sites, and volunteers.
Just one question, because I come from France, but what is a cooperating registries? What is exactly?
Basically, the thing is that in France, they developed their own national registry for volunteers, which is called EUVAP. And of course, we didn't want them to force to merge and to migrate all their platform. So they have their own autonomy, and whenever in case we are asked for volunteers in France, we contact with EUVAP. And actually, their leader is the national coordinator for France, so there is a close collaboration.
Okay. Good. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, everybody, for your talks today. I've enjoyed the session.